I am midway through building the suspension bridge, and I just want to pause and show you what I have got so far. I've used a banana box and cut it in half, and then with the bits that I had to cut off, I've strengthened it by doubling the thickness. Can you see? So there's two pieces of cardboard. I curved it around a table and used duct tape to stick the two parts together. And can you see it's already creating this sort of arch as a bridge. Then this is going to be stuck to the bases using a different banana box. I cut out the ends of it, and I'm going to use this cork that I've got to cover up the holes. Then the towers and bases, I've had to make them, I think, a bit taller. So I've got the containers at the bottom with the cardboard boxes. What I like about this is that I'm going to use these to weigh the towers down by putting some stones or something heavy inside. That will make it nice and stable by having the base very heavy at the bottom, not at the top. At the bottom I want it to be stable. Then, because these bits aren't wide enough, I have rolled up 5 pieces of paper and I've sellotaped them. And already, just by rolling them, it is very stable. I've made the paper stiffer, and therefore by putting them together, having 3 rolls together, that's going to make it nice and stiff. And so that's it at the moment. Just to recap some of the maths, we've got 4 towers that we need to build. The road is 1 metre or 100 centimetres long, and we need 2 waterproof bases for the towers to sit on top of. Look what happens now that I've put these stones into the base of these towers. Normally, without any stones, I could just move it quite easily. I wouldn't have to apply a great force, but now that the stones are in there, it takes a far greater force to topple it over, making the towers now nice and stable. But what happens if the weight is at the top? So I've turned it over now. Will it topple over easily? Oh yes, it comes crashing down. So we want the weight to be at the bottom. Okay, so I have now sellotaped the bases to the towers. Can you see? And remember, inside here are some stones, which together means that this is now stable. We've got the joins in the middle, and because they were rolled, this paper is now also stiffer. And I've been putting them on top of the base because now it's time to assemble the towers, bases and the road. So I'm just getting the measurements, checking them. I've got the tray in the middle, which is the river, if you remember, and I'm happy with that. In these milk cartons, I have got the hole for the lid, and I've also cut a hole using some scissors so that I can soon thread through the cables, and I'm going to use the string for that. And lastly, I'm going to show you a tip, because when I try to punch holes in the side of the cardboard, well, it doesn't fit my hole punch. Cardboard is too thick, and I like the fact that it's thick because that means it gives it stability and strength. But now I don't know what I'm going to do for the holes, so I will show you a tip which is about how you can use tape to make holes. Okay, so for the cables, because I couldn't hole punch directly into the cardboard, this is what you could do. First, anyway, you need to mark a 10 centimetre line, so you go along every 10 with a ruler. Okay, and draw a line. Can you see I've drawn lines? And then starting in the one in the middle, halfway between 100, so on the 50 centimetre line, or number 5, you need to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on one side and 5 on the other. What I've done is taken some tape and stuck it to itself to make some tabs. Then this tape fits inside the hole punch, so I can put my hole punch on it and make a hole. Then I can go along and do the next one. Put the tape now in the hole punch and make a hole. There we go. Here we have it. The suspension bridge has been completed and added to Mr. Wolf's village. The road has had to be redesigned slightly, and the gingerbread man's house doesn't have as much green space anymore, but he still seems quite happy. Let's give it a test. So he comes out on his Ferrari, over he goes. And the river, the bridge is tall enough for the boats to pass along the river. And does the gingerbread man get to the other side where the grass is greener? Woohoo! Yes, he does. Let's have a look at the finished suspension bridge. I had to add the cables and punch a hole into the base here. Then I also needed to double the loop of the cables so that this was more tense. That meant that it wasn't collapsing in on itself, and I needed to stick down the base to the ground so that it wasn't also collapsing in on itself. I've added these supports to keep the towers separate, and it turns out I only needed 3 hangers. I started in the middle, worked outwards, and in tomorrow's video we are going to be looking at my suspension bridge and evaluating, have I made it something that is stable, something that is stiff and strong, and how can I improve on the design? What can I do to make the bridge stiffer, stronger, and more stable? And for all of the grown-ups listening, that is the task. We are building a structure and exploring ways in which we can make the structure stiffer, more stable, and stronger. So the bridge that you design and build really doesn't have to be the one that I've got, and it doesn't have to be a bridge. Any structure, as long as it covers ways of exploring how to make the structure more stable, stronger, and stiffer.